Hello and welcome to Wingin It, and we're back here with another game of Major League Wingspan. This is another post-game commentary, and this is game number 21 in the regular season. So we're going first in this one. We're going to jump straight in and we're going to take a look and see what we've got in our starting hand here. And okay, it is a pretty good looking one. We've got some very, very nice options, all brown powers, all things I like to see in a starting hand. So yeah, maybe you're going to have some difficult decisions here. Definitely Ruddy Duck, a bird I like to see in the starting hand. Always good to get wetland brown power, especially one like this that lets you see extra cards. And we've also got a couple of birds that are maybe going to lead us in different directions here. So Fish Crow, very, very familiar with that from the base game, of course. Get that in the grasslands, lay some eggs, maybe get some nectar here. But also in our hand is Noisy Miner, which is definitely an interesting bird to go and play up in the forest, get some eggs up there, tuck some cards, especially with the Ruddy Duck when you're getting extra cards coming through there. Can be a nice power. Drawback, of course, you're giving eggs away to your opponent here, so definitely some consideration. I was definitely, thinking both ways here. Do I go Fish Crow in the grasses, Noisy Miner in the forest? I was kind of looking at the tray as well and thinking maybe something like that Wedge-tailed Eagle could be a good pickup. But you'll see we have gone for the Noisy Miner here, so yeah, definitely going to be looking at going in the forest here, but I think probably first priority early in this game is just going to be play the Ruddy Duck, do some digging, draw lots of cards, because who knows, maybe you find that grassland bird that you want to go and play, maybe you find a raven and suddenly going in the forest doesn't make sense. Maybe you find all the forest birds and suddenly you can feel a bit more self-assured going for the forest option. But yeah, I think the priority here, as I say, do that digging. And even if they're not good cards, I think that's where the Noisy Miner is going to come in, of course, using that tucking power, get some points through that, and get some extra eggs. Because we're going to need them if we're going to want to score points and play birds. So here we go, on to our first turn here. We will see opponent keeping 3 birds, so pretty standard, pretty normal opening. We, of course, just have the 2, but definitely a strong one here, Ruddy Duck. Going down, and you'll see we're keeping the food for the Noisy Miner, so keep it flexible. I can still play that. I think that would be, in most situations, kind of plan A is to get that Noisy Miner down. Take a bit of food, maybe get another bird down. Potentially think about this end of round goal as well. So bird's worth at most 3 points. It's not a bad one for round 1 because I think normally those are the kind of birds you want to play with the brown powers. They're normally low point birds. So we're going to draw it. We're going to immediately top deck something I am very, very happy to see, and that is a Yellowhammer. So always love to see these teal powers come up. And we've potentially got a good situation for it here with, of course, the Noisy Miner going in the forest, building out something strong there. So yeah, very, very fortunate to be picking something like Yellowhammer up straight away, but definitely happy and definitely gives me some options to think about. So for now, though, we're just going to keep digging because we want to see more birds. We want to see more options. We've got to think about what we might be playing with that Yellowhammer. What do we need in terms of food? Bush tits come up now, so again, another potentially interesting option to compare with the Noisy Miner in terms of, which one do we want to look at playing? Maybe gives me a secondary option here for doing some tucking. We also have that Broger as well. We did pick up on that first turn drawing, which again is a great way of getting loads more cards. And who knows, maybe we play both Bush Tit and Noisy Miner and use, of course, the wetlands to get loads and loads of cards and do plenty of tucking. So we've definitely got some options, and again, this is just where the strength of the Ruddy Duck really comes into its own. That early game digging, it kind of gives you that license to go and dig and go and draw. Even just for a couple of turns here, I saw so many cards and I've drawn so many good ones. So that has definitely given me a bit of direction here in this game. And you'll see we're going with the Bush Tit. So a couple of things that were sort of on my mind here. First one, it's a little bit cheaper than the Noisy Miner. So if I'm going to be using the Yellowhammer, I might not necessarily have quite as much food to go around. Maybe if I'm going to play something like the Broger, then I'm going to need the extra food for that. But also there's another consideration, which is giving away the eggs to my opponent. So as I say, with the Noisy Miner, you get the tuck, you get the 2 eggs, but you give one away to your opponent here. Bush Tit, just a simple tuck and egg, but not giving away anything. And yeah, definitely want to try and restrict what I'm giving away here in terms of the free eggs, because it can definitely be dangerous. So my opponent did play a very nice wetland bird, purple martin going down. So they're doing their digging, and some interesting options coming up. So Little Penguin definitely had some interesting games up against that recently. So maybe that might be another repeat offender here coming up in this game. But otherwise, some nice bonus card birds. They're the kind of birds I want to be picking up. So I'll definitely be tempted to go and grab something like this Cassin's Finch. But at the same time, I know I need a bit more food if I'm going to be playing more birds. So definitely makes sense to go and secure that food. And yeah, something like this Nutcracker, that can go. If I'm going Yellowhammer, I want as much food as I can in my supply. But playing birds, I don't really have any spare to be tucking. So yeah, very, very nice couple of turns there getting food. Got lots of nectar, which is what we want. And 2 turns left in this round. It's going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to play a Yellowhammer, of course, and then lay eggs, because that's the last action we need to do in order to use the Yellowhammer. So all coming together very nicely here. And yeah, my opponents, you know, they're not in too bad shape either. Like I say, they've got good card access. The Purple Martin's very nice. And even that Stellar's Jay in the forest, get a bit more food going. Definitely not a bad option. So they will be hoping to build something nice out in the wetlands, and as I say, maybe we're going to see Little Penguin coming into the game soon. But for now, we lay eggs, and we've done all we need for the Yellowhammer. We've just got to think about what we're going to play. So, as I say, Brolga's probably kind of what I'm thinking here is kind of the most likely play. Go ahead and draw cards and score lots of points. But that all changes when my opponent unexpectedly double plays here, and trying to tie the end of round goal. We can't be having any of that, so Noisy Miner is going to be the play here instead. And suddenly, it's all looking a bit weird in this forest where we're doing double lots of tucking and laying eggs. So, yeah, potentially strong, but we are, I say, going to need a lot of cards to be feeding that. But we do win the end of round goal, so yeah, Noisy Miner scoring me a few extra points there. I think that is definitely a good way to go. So, yeah, we come into round number 2. Not a super strong tray, but we're still going to draw cards. We're still going to go ahead and see what we find. Mute Swan coming up, that could definitely be an interesting option as well. Atlantic Puffin, always happy to see you, especially in these Yellowhammer games where lots of food is flying around, lots of birds are going down, so always a great option to have that. And yeah, so got a few wetland birds now, got a few wetland options. I think Brolga probably is going to be top of the list, the kind of main priority here for getting down. I'm going to want to be playing that and drawing more cards. So for now, we're going to go ahead, take food. We're going to throw a card so we can get 3 food, because I definitely want to be going ahead and getting, as I say, the Brolga down. We need 3 food for that. I'm going to skip the Miner, so a little bit strange. I'm sort of keeping hold of this Mute Swan, and I'm going to be honest, I think on reflection, I probably should have tucked the Mute Swan. I'm not too sure we're going to have enough cards here to be using something like a Mute Swan, but who knows? Might be something we tuck later, might be something we play later. We shall wait and see. But for now, I say Brolga going down. Another co-op power, so potentially we are going to be giving away some eggs. I would ordinarily feel quite nervous about that, but you might have seen my opponent did play, there we go, Common Goldeneye, so that's going to get them some eggs. I'm sort of supplementing them a little bit and helping them out, but they do have some egg access, so I don't feel quite so bad in this position as I ordinarily would. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and draw really aggressively here, see loads and loads of cards and draw some interesting ones. I mean, Killed is coming up. That's always an interesting one. And to be honest, could be something we look at going with in this Grasslands. You know, we've actually not got another Grassland bird. We're going to want to build that out if we are going to be laying eggs with the Yellowhammer. And of course, getting more cards when we are laying eggs. We're going to need cards using this forest with the Noisy Miner, with the Bush Tip, potentially throwing cards as well, because, you know, they're good birds in the forest, these two, but we're only gaining 2 food each time. I think we do need to be trying to focus on building that out if we want to play birds like the Puffin, like this Mute Swan. You know, with the Yellowhammer late in the game, we're going to want to be playing some nice big point birds. So, yeah, getting that food access secured is definitely going to be important. But there we go. Little Penguin did go down. So, as I say, had some interesting games up against that recently, where it scored loads and loads of points, got loads and loads of caches. So, I'll definitely be hoping we don't have a repeat of that here, but we shall see how it's going to go. But yeah, there we go. 4 caches already. definitely scary. If it hits 4 every time, we're definitely going to be in trouble. So hopefully it will regress to the mean a little bit after this. But yeah, we've got 3 turns left in this round. We know we're going to have to lay eggs for one of them. We do have this end of round goal to think about. Food and personal supply, always a bit of a tricky one, I find. Being able to, have food in your supply, because you kind of want nectar, but of course you can't keep nectar in your supply. It's going to go. So we've got, maybe some considerations to be thinking about here. We've got to think about what we're going to play with the Yellowhammer, how much food we need for that, how much food it is going to be worth keeping afterwards. So, as I say, kind of avoiding the nectar here, because I'm trying to sort of keep my options open in terms of not forcing myself to have to be, spending too much food in this round playing birds. So we come on to the brown powers, and again, we've got some decisions to make. What are we going to tuck? First of all, do we use both powers? I think we have to start using this noisy miner. We've got plenty of cards to spare. Potentially, if we're going for this killdeer as well, we're going to be getting even more. So we do go ahead and do those tucks, and it's a strong activation. We're scoring 5 points, we're giving away 1, but still net 4 points in the forest like that is definitely strong. So yeah, just the 2 turns left. I say we're going to have to lay eggs for one of them, and I'm sort of thinking in my head at this point, okay, do I play the killdeer first, then lay eggs? That's got some pros because we're going to be seeing more cards, but it then potentially leaves me with not that much food. And that's definitely a dangerous position to be in. My opponent, they're going before me, so I have got that bit of information on my side where I can sort of see what they're doing, if they're maybe going to take food. Maybe if they take nectar, it's going to tell me they're going to play another bird first. Or they could just go ahead and play a bird like the snowy owl and use up their food reserve. So that is indeed what they did. We've gone and laid eggs. So yeah, they've got 3 food in their supply. And as I say, I'm just sort of trying to keep my options open here. Come into this last turn of the round, see what needs to be done, and if I have to take food, I will. But they went ahead and played Eastern Phoebe, so we're tied. I know I'm going to need some food to use for the Yellowhammer play. So now it's just about counting and calculating and thinking, right, what can I get away with playing? Maybe something like this Mute Swan goes down. Maybe this Dipper could still be an option. Even more cards. Maybe I play the early Puffin, with some of the nectar there, with this fish in my supply as well. So just got to count through the food, work out what I need to be keeping, what I want to be spending on the Yellowhammer play as well. And as I say, just kind of make sure I'm scoring points off this end around, because definitely key at this stage of the game to make sure I'm getting those points and sort of not giving those away where I can avoid to. So we are, of course, going to take food. And I think the idea here, what I'm thinking is, take the non-nectars, finish on 4 food that isn't nectar. I have the nectar in my hand. That is going to go on the killdeer. So that is going to get played. And yeah, we are going to tuck the Dipper. So again, I think Mute Swan probably should be going here. I'm not really too sure why I'm keeping hold of it. I think I'm sort of in my head thinking about the strength of getting that down in the wetlands and scoring loads of points there, but I want to be keeping all those cards. I don't think I really want to be tucking on the Mute Swan. I think every card needs to be kept because it's probably going to get tucked on the Bush Tit or the Noisy Miner and score more points up there. So we'll see. There's still plenty of game left to go. Will the Mute Swan go down or not? I think maybe when we've got a tray like that, it's sort of telling me that maybe we don't want to be playing Mute Swan. But yeah, got a decision to make here. Do I lay eggs? Instantly, my first reaction was go and lay eggs here and pick up the birds with the killdeer. So that is what we're going to do. Pick up Benelli's Eagle and Woodstock. So yeah, both great birds. Again, Benelli's Eagle, another reason why I want to be keeping cards in my hand, not necessarily tucking them or potentially throwing them away for eggs or food, because that's going to be a free play later. And yeah, again, not really got great food access still at this stage of the game. Not really finding the Forest Brown powers. I mean, American Red Star's just come out. Maybe there's still time to get that down and make that work, but it is getting quite late in this game to be playing a bird like that. But definitely, as I say, having something like Benelli's Eagle that I can just play with cards that I know I've got really easy card access. I can draw as many cards as I want effectively in this game. That makes life a whole lot easier. Now, this is where the Mute Swan comes down, and I think this shouldn't be going down. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I should be focusing on the Puffin and the Woodstock, get those down for the bonus plays. Not really too sure how many tucks this Mute Swan is realistically going to get. Because as I say, if I'm tucking, I'm basically just scoring 1 point from each of those cards. I could be scoring 2 points from each of those cards if they're going on the bush tit. They're going on the eagle, it's saving me a food. If I'm discarding them in the grasslands, it's getting more eggs, and I might need that with this end of round goal. Eggs in the wetlands. Got to think about how many eggs we're going to get, especially when we're using Yellowhammer. We're playing more birds. That is going to cost us eggs, but we've played Mute Swan. We've made our bed, so we're going to lie in it. We're going to go ahead and draw some cards, and we're going to see lots and lots and lots. So yeah, we'll use the Mute Swan. We'll get those 3 points, but we are losing cards here. Bit of a thought, do I go for the red start? I was trying to sort of think through in my head, is there still time? But I just don't think there's enough time really to be getting that down and making the most of that, because yeah, I'd probably play it and only take food maybe once or twice after that and not really even get the food back that I paid for it. So yeah, we do see lots more cards. We get Galar, which again would have been a nice one earlier. Maybe still just about time to make that work, but giving away some of that food definitely feels risky, especially when I'm already giving away eggs, and you know, the best resource my opponent has access to is cards, so complementing that with giving them eggs and food is maybe not too sensible of a position here. But yeah, we've got 3 turns left here in this round, and I think we're going to try and get some birds down. So we want to try and get these wetland birds, not just because they get us a bonus card, they're big point birds, but they do push out that wetland. So when I am drawing cards, maybe in the final round, I'm just getting an extra card. That's going to be worth more points for us as well. So House Finch goes down in the forest for my opponent. So they're building something out there to, yeah, really build up the forest, get some more food, get some more points potentially as well with that tucking power. So very, very nice. And I'm just trying to count at this point. Again, kind of like round 2. Look at the end of round goal. Think about what my opponent could be doing. You know, they're going to be laying eggs. I know they've got this golden eye. I've got to take that into account, you know, in terms of how many eggs they're going to get. But I'm sort of trying to work out, is there a world in which I could potentially push on this end of round goal if I'm going to lay eggs again and get some more cards, but also get some more eggs down in the wetlands. So, yeah, as I say, definitely something to think about. But I think for right now, I'm thinking about taking food, and I'm looking at the 2 nectar, and yeah, 2 nectar plus the fish in my supply. That equals puffin, which is very, very nice. So we are going to go ahead, take food, take those 2 nectars, get these tucks on the miner and the bush tit. Yeah, very, very nice. So come into our last couple of turns. Probably going to see puffin go down. But that is then all of our food. So we have got to think then a little bit more carefully about what else we're going to do. Do we potentially play Benelli's Eagle earlier than expected just because it's free and we don't have any food for Yellowhammer? That is definitely potentially an option. I mean, we could also just lay eggs twice here. Or maybe lay eggs once and draw cards once. And then, of course, play the puffin with the Yellowhammer. But I think at this stage of the game with the Yellowhammer, you want to spend as many turns as you can playing birds, especially when they're big points like puffin here. So we're going to get that down in the wetlands, of course. And see what we get on the bonus card. We get a platform builder, which is definitely welcome here. Not scoring any points yet, but when you've got Benelli's Eagle in hand and the Woodstalk, we know we're going to score the lower bound, and there's potential to max that out as well if we can, yeah, find one more bird that's going to work for that. So definitely, yeah, good bonus card pickup. Happy with that from the puffin. It's delivered for me here. And we come with just 1 turn left here, and I'm thinking it's going to be laying eggs. So we're keeping on looking at this end of round goal. It's always on my mind. What can we do on this end of round goal? Count my opponent's eggs. You know, they've, I say, still got this golden eye. I think they want to be playing a bird here, and they have picked up 2 nectar. So that to me says 100% they're going to be playing a bird here. You know, they want to clear out the golden eye space so they can get the eggs back. 2 nectar, doesn't matter where that bird's going down. It's going to cost them the eggs there. So I'm sort of calculating in my head, okay, if they lose an egg off the golden eye but then gain a few back, how many does that leave them on? If I lay eggs here, I can, of course, discard maybe a card here, get 3 eggs, and get those down in the wetlands. I know that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, yeah, get those eggs down, and then we've still got the killdeer, and we can discard out of the forest. So that is nice. Clear out some of that egg space, save the eggs in the wetlands, and yeah, get 2 more cards. And it almost doesn't matter what these cards are. I think they're just going to go under the Benelli here because, yeah, we've got no food. So if we're going to play something, it is going to have to be the Benelli here. So that has worked out well for us. And, yeah, I think we put ourselves in a position here where even if my opponents had a bird that was maybe going to get some eggs, I think, you know, even with that golden eye as well, they're just not quite going to match the total number of eggs we have got here. So definitely ahead. And that is a nice position to be in to be able to secure that. So lots of food for my opponent. I'm sure they're going to have some good birds to play here. But I'd say we've got some good options as well. Benelli's Eagle is going to be very, very nice. So double play, indeed, for my opponent, and clearing out lots of egg space. And now recalculating, checking how many cavity nests they've got. Okay, they're very, you know, even if they max out on that golden eye, it's only going to be 8 eggs in total. We've got 9. We're fine. Get Benelli down. No stress, clear out the egg off the bush here. And yeah, very, very nice to be able to get that down. So we do go for it in the grasslands. I'm just kind of thinking maybe if I do have some extra cards and, you know, I have to throw those for eggs, maybe some extra food as well, although that's definitely less likely, then I can score extra points. So there we go. We do, by paying attention and by being careful on the end of round goal, we do sneak it there just by the 1 egg. So very, very nice. And we come into the final round. And it's a very, very nice tray as well. So not the kind of tray I wanted to see going second. Kakapo and Prothetory Warbler. Both really, really strong birds. Both really, really strong options. Both the kind of birds I wish I had in my hand already. But I'll take one of them. I'll take one of them. You know, I've got this Woodstalk. That's going to be one play. Probably going to play that this round. And then, of course, use the Yellowhammer to play something else. So I just need one of the birds. In order to follow through with that. And yeah, it looks like my opponent is taking food, which means they're only going to take one of those birds in the tray at most, and they do take the Kakapo. So no great surprise really in that position. We're going to go ahead and draw cards. So we find another nice option in Hooded Warbler. Very, very nice forest bird, a little bit cheaper, which is definitely going to help. And yeah, with the Ecologist bonus card as well, not even mentioned that this game, but another forest bird definitely welcomed here. So we're going to just keep drawing and yeah, do more tucking on this Mute Swan. But you're kind of going to see here that this is where the Mute Swan is really not working out because it's just costing us all of the cards. And I know we're going to draw one back and we've got the Brole going, we've got the Ruddy Duck, but just costing lots of cards that, to be honest, probably we're going to need to be tucking. And even if we weren't tucking, we'd be throwing those for eggs. So yeah, not too helpful there, that Mute Swan. We only kind of used it twice. I'm annoyed I played it looking back. I definitely could have played something else. Maybe that, maybe the Woodstalk could have gone down a little bit sooner. And get another bonus card. I think that would have been preferable. And potentially made scoring extra points off the platform scientist bonus card a little bit easier. But there goes Kakapo. Very, very nice play from my opponent. And helping them on this end of round. So I think we're looking good for this end of round. You know, we've got couple of star nests down. We've got loads of these ground nests, so I think we should be all right. But you never know. You never know in these late games. Suddenly, birds can come out of nowhere and scupper your plans. So we're definitely not going to play anymore. But I think with what we've got down, we should be in a strong position. So I'm just trying to count out here. I'm just trying to be careful. Just trying to think, okay, where do I need to be taking food? How much food do I need to be taking? Am I going to go, you know, which warbler essentially am I going to go for? I think probably I am looking at Hooded Warbler more than Prothetory Warbler. But I've also got to think about when am I going to lay eggs. I've got to time that right so that, you know, the two cards that I'm getting off the killdeer, I can use those properly. Is I going to be discarding for food? Is I going to be tucking on the miner and the bush tit? Got to be thinking those things through as well. So yeah, opponent is likewise taking food. So I think they've probably got some good stuff. And the grasses is not especially strong, so this tends to be the case, I think, in the end game in these Oceania games, is that you get yourself some big point birds, you get your food, and you play it. You don't worry too much about laying eggs, because in most cases, yeah, the engine is just not really there. So a couple of turns left. I'm sure we'll see some birds go down for them. But now, though, we are going to lay eggs, and yeah, get rid of Prothetory Warbler. Make sure we're getting eggs on these ground nests, so we should be all right there. And yeah, use the killdeer as well. So get these 2 cards through. Really doesn't matter what these are. I'm not sure there's too much that would come up that would sort of change my plans here. in terms of getting birds down. I feel like what we've got here is pretty strong. So Greyla Goose does come up, which could potentially have been one for this end around, but I think we're all right anyway. And then, yeah, long-tail tit, that's never getting played here in a million years. So pretty easy couple of final turns here. We only need to take food again, get the food for the Hooded Warbler and the Woodstock, and then play one of them. In this round, we're done with the Yellowhammer. We can use it at the round end and play the other of those two birds. So definitely a nice end game, definitely strong. Happy with how this has played out. And yeah, I feel like we've made the most of this not great forest. It started off so well. I think the Bush Tit and the Miner was a really strong play early on. Didn't really get the food access going, but it's sort of worked out here. It's sort of worked out, even though we struggled for food. Definitely finding something like Benelli helped us there. And to be honest, even if we're only getting 2 food a time, when we're taking it, the fact that we're scoring 4 points net is strong. So we can do that a few times and yeah, not feel too bad about things at all. So a little bit to think about maybe on this nectar. I'm just looking and trying to pay attention. You know, we've got a tie in the forest and a tie in the wetlands. So I put off playing the bird, took food, give myself that information, give myself that time. You know, I could potentially spend, 2 nectar in the forest. I can spend some in the wetlands as well. Opponent plays Blythe Hornbill, which is an amazing play here. Really good synergy with the Goldeneye. So that definitely made me a little bit nervous. And yeah, spending all that nectar, that kind of told me, all right, well, we can spend 1 down here in the wetlands with the Woodstalk. And yeah, that's going to help us win the nectar battle there. So we'll get a bonus card, and it's a very, very nice Omnivore Expert. So definitely welcome. Definitely put a little bit of gloss on the Mute Swan. 2 extra points there. But yeah, super, super nice big bonus card pickup late in the game. And then a very solid, net 6 points from this Hooded Warbler. So I'll definitely take that. Not too shabby. And it is a clean sweep on the end of round goal. So definitely like to see that. That always helps. When you're winning all the end of round goals, that is a big load of points that you can rely on. So opponent has Kakapo. So, if they get a bonus card of the level of Omnivore Expert that we got, this could potentially be a very, very tight result. But yeah, into the nectar. They did actually win 2 of those. So yeah, kind of close in all 3 habitats, I think. But we just about held on in the wetlands for a few points. But we are coming out behind there. We'll see what difference that makes coming into these final scores. So, yeah, we did get lots of birds down. Not too many big pointers. So we are going to be slightly behind here, but we know bonus cards are strong for us. So hopefully this is where we pull it close. End of round goals, as I said, absolute domination. So we are going to pull into the lead. And eggs, not too many on either side, but we do slightly edge it. Caches is where my opponent comes back, but tucks for us. Mute Swan in the forest as well, 22 in total. And so even with a slight loss on the nectar, we do hold on for the win here in a very, very high-scoring game. 132 for us and 122 for our opponent. So only 10 points in it. 8-point Omnivore Expert at the end. Definitely put a bit of gloss on the result, but I think we were just about secure either way there in this game. So, yeah, super, super interesting, I think, how that played out. Definitely got lucky at the start. I think finding Yellowhammer on the first card that you draw, that's always a dream situation to be in. But as I said, never quite really got the food production going in the forest. Always a little bit of a struggle there. We had some kind of slightly weaker brown powers that we could have maybe played, but I think there's a point of the game where you sort of want to rely on just playing the big pointers. But yeah, strong bonus cards for us, as I say. Definitely help out when you find in stuff like Puffin and Woodstock, but not bad for my opponent as well. So pretty solid across the board there. And as I say, that Hornbill was a huge play at the end. So very, very nice for them. Little Penguin definitely delivered as well. 6 caches on its turns, drawing cards. But yeah, solid board all round for us. As I say, I'm still annoyed looking at that Mute Swan. I definitely shouldn't have played that. I'm very glad it didn't cost me the game here. But on another day where I don't draw Omnivore Expert, and on another day where my opponent gets another strong play at the end, could have been a very, very different result. But we did get the win here. That is the main thing. And it is another win on the tally in this regular season of Major League Wingspan. So there we go. Hopefully you enjoyed that game. I definitely enjoyed playing it. If you want to see more games from the regular season, please do hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're following along, and I look forward to seeing you in another game very, very soon.